now press read me this, is to output it. So that is the thing we want to do with this function, and that's all we are. So we just read this line. If you are able to read it, you are able to get it out. So that is what that function do, and that is all about that. Let me just show you the code one more time. But like I said, it's in my repo, and take a look at it if you want to program your own in a different way. Okay, take a look at it, take a clue, try to understand it. And by now, I'm not talking about int main to return 0 because I want to believe by now we know why we are returning 0 and all of that. So, but then if you don't know, let me just talk about it. Int, that is the data type. So whatever you use to declare your function, you must also be the same data type that you return. Okay? So if you are declaring, let's say a pointer or something, you must also come here and return a pointer. If it is void, you are going to return a void or something. So, a ring or whatever data type you are declaring, your function must be what you return. So there is nothing special about this code, and I think it's short and straightforward. So let's now let's move forward. Let's move forward. The next task or the next exercise is command line to AV. That's a function that splits the string and return an array.
Your repo link.
My repo?
Sorry, yeah, your repo link, please.
My repo link, okay, I will drop it here so that you can be following along. Yes. Because I have a lot of rubbish code inside. Some of it I'm still working on some of the code. So it's not everything that is there. But just look at it. Don't bother yourself about it. Just for it.
Yeah, understood. Understood.
Like I said, I'll pull it down later. So I've dropped the link in the chat box. You can check it out. Alright, so let's continue, please. The next exercise is, remember the EOF I showed you that time, see it here. So that is why I just used it there. Okay? The next exercise we want to do is, what we call strtok. strtok. Now, what is token? We are going to need to understand what is token. Because what I must try to do in this exercise is, I use like 2 days to read extensively on trying to understand some of the theory or the theory behind this project. So you need to understand some basic terms and concepts like your process ID, token, execution, fork, wait, function, some key functions like that. So when you know all those functions, then it will guide you on how you tackle the project. So strtok is also another important function. So they said advanced, you can write your own str, but for now, we have not advanced, or me, I have not advanced to that level. All what I'm interested in now is how to use this function. So we use it to split a string. Okay, you can use it to split a string into what? Tokens. Tokens mean words. Split it into what? Words. Or break it into something. So that is just what we are going to do here. So now let's now go to the code and see how it is. I think I call it _ strtok.c. This is the code. Are you seeing my screen, please?
We are not.
No, we're not seeing it. Sorry. So sorry. Alright, so okay, so I think we are there now.
Yeah, we're there.
So like I said, I include the library. The two important library in this case, your stdio, stdlib, stdilib.h. This one is just for your string manipulation. And do I even use it? I'm not sure if I actually use it, but then it's not important for now. So just like before, we are still going to use all this buffer, malloc, and the same thing we did when we are trying to get our test. Of course, we need to get it out first. After we now get it from here to here, just to get your test out, which is the portion that I showed you before. Okay? After you now get your test out, you now use your what? Token function to break that test. Now you are trying to say that so the first parameter in your token function that is going to take is your pointer. By now we know pointer is the address. It's the address to where that test you want to break, where it is. It's the pointer, the address to that test is what it's going to take first. Then the second parameter is what separates that test. For example, if you are typing in a sentence, you know there's going to be space between your sentences. So that's why we put space here. This is how to declare space. Okay? Double quotes, give it a little space. So then you are going to use another while loop. While token. You're giving it a name here, token, so that you can look through it and print it out. So it's going to print until when token is equal to null. So that's just the simple explanation here. Print whatever is inside the token. Okay? What to break is going to print it until when this token is equal to null. Null means empty. There is nothing inside. It's no longer pointing to anything. So it's no longer pointing to anything. Okay? So now, let's now run it. If you know if you understand the previous portion, which is get line, it will be very easy to understand this other four line. Okay, so we are just using our token portion. We are breaking it here. Alright, so let's show you how it works. I compiled this thing before, but I'm trying to compile it again so that you can see it's live. So you output it, let's call it talk. So talk. The moment you press talk, the while loop, which is 1, will start running, and your $sign will show. Now anything you type now is going to break it. I am very happy with this ELD. If I press enter, it's going to break everything. Can you see it? So because I said this is the line, is get the line. Okay, get it out. This is the line I print. Get everything out. I break everything one by one. Because I said what is used to break them is space. After this there's a space, it will break it. After this to break it, after it break it there is space to break it. So it's as simple as that. That is what it do. Remember, this process is still running. This particular process is still running. Okay? So for you to stop, we press Ctrl C. Ctrl to see it will stop. Motor will not stop running. So you have failed it. So that is right about the exercise. We'll go to the next one. I think we are moving very slow.
Yeah, please, can you just show us the code again, please? Sorry.
Can you just check it in the GitHub repo? Or
Okay.
just click on the link in the chat box.
Okay, please, I want to ask when compiling the code, what's the difference between using just GCC, the file name, then -0, then the file that you want to use and compile, and using the whole where w error, w war, because I know that most times if I just use GCC, the code compile even without putting all those long w error and the rest.
Yes, you're right. It will work even without. Sorry, I want to share it so that we're easy to explain. So now look at it. This is what you are talking about. Without using W error, W off, W extra, penalty, it's going to work. Okay? But the modern standard, which is this standard, okay? This standard, GNU 89. Try to read about GNU 89. I think we have GNU 89, GNU 90. You know, I'm not a programming guru, I don't really know much how to explain this, but it's just the standard. It means your code is according to this standard when you include this. So if you don't include it, you won't know whether your code is according to that standard. So that is that. This pedantic, I can't remember what it does just now, Google it. But all this is if you include any external stuff, this one means you're going to consider all. This one means if there's any error in your code, no matter how small or minute, it's going to bring it out. But if you just use GCC, GCC will just combine echo alone. GCC will not check for this, GCC will not check for this, GCC will not check for this, it will not check this, it will not check this. Do you not understand? Hello?
I get you. I'm muted. I get you.
Alright, so just try to Google more and learn more about it. So let's continue, guys. So we are going to the next exercise. So after you have been able to break your argument or your parameters or whatever down now, the next thing is how do you execute? Thank God, this one, they already given us the code. They provided the code. So what you need to do is what? Try to copy it and what? Run it and see whether you're going to get the same result. So let's just go and do that without wasting time. So that we're easy to explain. Alright, so the next one is exec. What is it? C, exec.c. Exec.c. So they gave us this code already. Alright? So all we need to do is what? We need to run it and see how it works. But always take note. This is the function here. This is the function here. Can you see where the function is? This is the function here. And in the function, you take 3 parameters. The command. Remember, there is an example where I show you that the 0 show you the command you are trying to impute. Okay? That's the first thing that you enter here. Ask 0, as v0. That is the command. It's going to be give you the command. command, and this is the array. This is the array here, okay? Which is not just an array here, it's a pointer. This is a pointer to an array. So it's going to be here, then the null. So this is just a comparison. Generally, if you see any comparison between all this number and -1, it means it doesn't work. If it's equal to -1, it means it doesn't work. It means that function or that command does not work. So that is what you are trying to confirm. But if it's not equal to -1, it means it works. So in this case, when we are doing comparison, if this is equal to -1, it means it doesn't work. So just print error. So this print error is also a function. It's a function. If you check our this thing is there. Print error is also a function. P error is inside this uni std library. So make sure you include it. Oh, sorry. So now all these prints before execute just to show us that how the function will perform, so that we know how it performs. Print after, just a way of trying to understand. But then the most important part of using this function is here. Okay, like I said, this first thing is your path. All of us, we have this in our system. I will show you just now. When I go to my Linux terminal, I will show you. So this is being ls. So it's a path. They put it there for us. This L is long format. Remember, it's in cell, it's long format. It's also another part for user. This is null. So all these parts and all these parameters, they're very important in helping us to what? Execute our code. Alright, so let's compile it and see how it works. Exec.c. We output it. Let me call it exec. Tron. Exec. So I think it's the same thing with what they got. But mind you, if you are using a different operating system too, maybe your might be different. But if you are using Linux or Vagrant, you are going to get something similar to what they got. Of course, your date and some of your number will not be the same as their own at your time. But at least your other things will be the same. The permission, the directory, and some other things that are inside your. So what this thing just listed out are the things that are inside your brain directory. So your brain directory in the system. That is what it's going to. Yes?
Hello. Please, let's see that your code. I want to ask a question from the code.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Sorry, I'll go there just now.
Okay.
This is not really what I wanted to show you. But I'll show you the code. Okay, this is it.
Okay. On line 11, I think
Yes.
the pointer to that array is holding
Yes.
a command to list a directory being.
Yes. Okay.
The command there is a ls, and the l minus l is to list long directory or something like that, isn't it?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, you're right. Just like I tried to mention here, you can see this
Yes.
AV is what take the command. The first thing, whenever you are entering something in the terminal, is what is representing the command. Okay? And ls is also a command. We use it to list things now. Why this is another parameter for long format.
Long format.
And this one is your directory.
Yes.
But this command is written like this, telling you that you have to list things that are inside your bin.
In bin, yes. Okay.
Alright.
Thank you. Understood.
Alright.
Understood.
So that is just that about executing. Just for us to know the parameters it's going to take. So now let's move to the next exercise. The next exercise now is okay, one of the most interesting parts, which is fork. Okay, thank God here too, they also gave us example of a code. So they give us this code for us to understand how fork works. But then, like I said, you need to understand the theoretical reason why fork work. Later, I will try to share a link to YouTube video and some other material I used to learn all these things on the Telegram chat and also my other WhatsApp group, so that you can have access to it. So, but fork, how does fork work? Now, the PID that we learned before, process ID and parent process ID that we learned before, this is when you are going to appreciate it. Okay? This is when you are going to appreciate it, because they will guide you, helping you to understand how fork work. So this code is provided for us just for us to run it, study it, and understand it. So let's look at it. The first fork function I have is, I call it fork 1 plus C. Right? Sorry. That's error.
Hello?
Sorry. I'm not saying anything.
Hello, baby, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm thinking a bit more. Sorry, because I'm not even sure where. I mean, what's the number of the tax you have now?
No task.
What tax number you have? Is it like 6, 7, 10, 5, 2?
Okay, I didn't really number it. I'm just following it one by one. The way
I think what he's trying to say is what task number are you on? He's not on any task number. He's following the guide.
I'm just following the guide one after the other.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just following the guide one after the other. And when you look at the naming of the code, you will understand the particular exercise that I'm working on. Okay? Yes, when you look at the naming of the code, you understand the particular exercise that I'm working on. But I didn't number it because they didn't number it here too.
Okay, so hold on. So which are you on now?
So I'm under creating processes.
Are you sure?
Creating processes. Let me go back to the chair. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this is where I am now. Creating processes. Under creating processes, you have fork function. So we want to learn how to use fork function.
Is this still for simple shop?
Yes.
Yes, the first link. Sorry, Mr. Agbemi, I think you should go back to your dashboard and just navigate through to this page so you'll see what you're talking about.
Okay. just joining us, right? But some people don't. Okay, can you see my screen now, guys?
Yes.
This is your simple cell project. So you go to the simple cell link, click on the link. It will take you to this page. So this the simple cell page. All these things we have not even talked about is all these exercises. In fact, I've not even figured it out. But the hint they gave to us is what we are trying to crack. So if we are cracking successfully, we'll be able to use it. And mind you, they also gave us list of functions that we can use. Look at it. So anything you are doing must be within this list. Now if you want to use function, if you are not within this list, it means you have to create it by yourself. So take note. But then, if we can even understand that their guide very well, we'll be able to attempt this project. And the guide is inside everything you need to know to start coding your own shell. Everything you need to know to start coding your own shell. So let me open it. And this is what we have been doing since 8 o'clock, taking it one after the other. Okay? Get PD, we have done this, that get PID. We said it's the parent process. PID is the process ID, that is the program that is running. That's an ID, identity, how you know it is by running that get PD function, it will bring it out for you. This is also a cell code to show you the maximum PID your operating system can give you. So from that, we move on to learn how to use this function. This main function. Main has 3 types. Main function has 3 types. The first is void. This is another function. The third function we are going to see is below. Now, so let's move on till we get there. If you read it very well, they told us that AV0 is usually contain the name used to invoke the current program, while AV1 will take the first argument. We have explained all this and we have passed it. So we study read line, how to read line, then how to use SDR-TOK function to break our text or string into tokens. In other words, into wells. Then we just finished how to do this execute function, how to use it, how to apply it. Okay, we just finished running it. So now we are now going to the next one, which is creating process. So under this creating process, the function that is important for us to learn is fork function. And that was what I was trying to explain. So let's continue, guys. So our time is going. Before our time runs out, let's do this. So if you look at the fork function, you need to pay attention very well here. I know you have seen this PID data type before. So we're just initializing the variable here. We're just declaring it. We're declaring it here. Declare my PID. Declare PID. So these are 2 variables that will declare. So before you fork it, we say PID is equal to fork. Remember, all these functions, they are going to be returning a number to you, an integer. So that is 1, -1, or whatever the number will be. But always remember that if it is -1, it is an error. It means this function did not work. So that's why it brings error here. This error is inside your UniSTD. Otherwise, if the function works, it's going to output your result for you. And what is the output that is going to output for you here? Let's figure it out. Let me run it first. After I run it, I will now come back to explain the code. Because if I run it, you will now see the results you get. Let us run it. Fork 1. Dot C. Output. Let me call it FK1. Let me run FK1. Can we see it? Before it's printed out, before fork, after fork, those two come out. And you now see my PID is what? 23090. Then we now see after fork again. Can you see? So after fork is appearing how many times? 2 times. Let's go back to the code again and see why. So, like I said, you assign the fork to PID variable. You check whether it is work, whether it will work or not. If it doesn't work, it will just give you error. And if you are not seeing error, it means it's working. Okay? So, then before fork, it will print. Nothing will happen. But after fork, every other thing after this fork function will be what? Duplicated. Do you understand? Everything after you call this fork function in your process is going to be what? Duplicated. So that's just a simple explanation for fork in this process. That is why you are now seeing this after fork. It's now appearing what? 2 times. Instead of one times now, it's now appearing 2 times. The first time, the process will print. Then, after it now fork now, it will now print again. So it means you have to duplicate that process. That is what fork function do. Let's run it again. Oh no, okay, it's still showing. Can you see it? You have before fork, after fork. So normally this is your process ID. This is your process ID, the fork process that is running. Or that particular process, this is the ID. So we just print it out to show you. Okay, so after this fork function, it will now show up again. It will now print it out again. It will duplicate it. So when you call the fork function, it will duplicate it. That is just the simple explanation for that. But there is something that you need to take note. They also show us they gave us another code just for us to know to have a clarity on how fork function work. This is the first one. This is the one that we just run just now. This is the one we just run just now. Okay? They duplicate the code. This is their own result. Okay? Now, our own now should be this. This is the next one I want to run. So this one, let's run it too and see what we're going to get.
Before you continue, please, this PID underscore T is a data type or for process ID, because I noticed you are initializing my underscore PID with the PID underscore T.
Yes, it's a data type for process ID. That is just a simple word for it. You can also use int, it will work. Because
so it's returning an integer value.
Yes, it's returning an integer value. it's going to return integer value, either 1, -1, 0, something. Integer. Okay? So let's run, we can go around the code, right? So let's run it. I think I call it for 2. So this is the code. Now there is difference between this code and the other one. What is the difference? Here we have PID, T, my PID. Then the second variable is child underscore PID. Okay? So, and we have child PID equal to fork. That is fork function now. So they now say if child is equal to -1, like I said, if child is not, that is, it doesn't work, it doesn't run. So print error. Else, get PID. So you call PID function. Then you print out your PID, print it out, output it. Then you are now having another condition. If child underscore PID equal to 0, print no my PID. Else, print I am your father, my PID, child, PID. What does this thing mean? Like I said, let me run it. After I run it, I will not explain. Because programming is doing. I'll call it FK2. Run FK2. Now, when I see, so we have my PID is 23312. Then we have inside bracket 23312. Then after that we have another number 23313. I am your father. My PID is 23313. I am your father. Then 23313 say no. What is going on here? Fork function have what we call parent and child. So here now, this is where I'm going to use our whiteboard to explain. Fork function has what we call parent and child. Now you need to understand how this parent and child thing work. Guys, can you see the Jamboard?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to drag something there, I don't know. Okay, let's say this is the parent. This is the parent function or process. Okay? We have another one. Let me call it child triangle. I call it child triangle. So this is the process that is running. The moment you fork this one, it's going to create a child. The child is going to be what? Triangle. So that is just a simple explanation. This process is still running. Is the parent. When you fork it, it will duplicate itself. And that duplication is called what? Child. So this one now, which is the parent, it will have ID. For this child, the moment it is a child, it will not have any ID. The ID is going to be what? Is 0. The ID is going to be 0. So that's what happened here. Let me switch it. here. So can we see now? Here, the PID is the parent, this is the child. So the moment you fork this, if the function does not work, if it does not,
You can't see your screen again.
can I see my screen again?
We are still seeing at the whiteboard or something.
The whiteboard. It's the whiteboard we are seeing.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, that's the way I switch.
Sorry, which of the Telegram group did you drop that YouTube link, please?
Telegram group.
I can't find it on where I log in.
Elena, are you still in the call? Please, guys, if you are still in the call, please just drop
Yeah,
our Telegram.
I can share the link.
Please share with them. Yes, please. So, I'm trying to show you something like, okay, let me switch. Like the way I switched this presentation before, like, not giving me tough time now. So thanks, Elena. So you guys should. So this is what I'm trying to explain here. I don't know why. Whether I'm getting tired. Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain here. You have the parent here. You have the child process here. Okay? Now, whenever I use form function, the ID for the child is going to be equal to 0. While that of the parent can be any number. Just take note of that. That of the parent ID can be any number, but that of the child is going to be 0. And if the ID is equal to -1, like I said, is error, which means the function did not work. You are not able to fork the process. So that's what the -1. But if it is 0, it is what? The ID of the child. So that is why here you call the what? Get PID portion. This one will give you the ID of the parent process now. Okay? So when we print it out, we now have it out. Okay? So if child is created, that is, if this is 0, if this ID, child ID is equal to 0, because that is the variable we use to what? To pass our function. We said child PID is what? Fork. So if this fork ID, if this fork give us 0, then it means we are able to create a child. If it is equal to 0, that is check. So we now print no, my PID. Okay? This S, it means it's not 0. And remember, it's not 0 and it's not -1. So definitely it's going to be other number. So which means it is what? The parent process. This fork portion is a bit tricky. It took me like 1 or 2 days before I understand it, but when you understand it, you understand it. So I will explain it over and over again, but we are still going to see how I'm using it in the front. So let's not waste too much time here. Our time is fast spent. But then, if this is 0, is the child process, else, that is, it is not 0. It is the parent process. So just take note of this like that. So after you understand that, another important function you need to understand is what? Weight function. So this weight function will also help us to understand how this thing work, fork function work. Okay? Like I said, it is better to what? To use code to explain it. So let's use code to explain how weight function work. So thing weight like weight.c. I call it weight.c. So this is the function they give us this code just for us to run it and see how it works. Okay, this is the code. Let me just go through it. Like before, we have child with we have two variables declare status. Okay, you have fork if child equals to this error. If child equals to 0, which means you have child. Wait for me. Wait for me. This is what I just used there. Let me change. Let me change it to I'm the child here. So let me not change it because it's a code. I think it's a code they give us an example, but I can just tell you this is I'm the child. I'm the child here. Okay, else wait. Else. So else wait. That is parent process to wait until child process is what? Finish. That's what wait function does. Parent process to what? To wait until child process finish. So this thing help us. How does this thing help us? We are still going to see. How does this wait help us? We are still going to see because we said we are duplicating the process, right? This particular process that is here, we are duplicating it. Everything that is here now. If you put any command or function or anything under fork function, it's going to be duplicated. It's going to be duplicated, everything. For example, this print is going to be duplicated. This print something will be duplicated, different results will be duplicated, but since you have put if condition, okay, you are going to have two things here that should be printed out. This and this, but this one will not print unless this one prints because of this word wait function that you call here. So wait, this is how we use it. You state the address of whatever you want to wait. So let's now run this one. Let's run it and see what we'll get. Wait.c. We output it. Wait. So we run it. Wait. And you see, this thing was waiting. Do you notice how long it waits? Waited for 3 seconds. It blinked for like 3 seconds. Let me run it again. It blinked for like 3 seconds. Can you see 1, 2, 3? This is your function that is blinking per second. If you are not seeing it well, let me change the number here. I want to change to 5. Finish here. So this sleep will make it wait. Let me change to 5. Compile it. And then run it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now come up. So we are saying the parent process to us wait until the child process finish. So let me also rename it. Let me rename it here. So that yes, maybe I will rename it and update and push it to my repo. Process. So child process. Here, oh, it's not better now. Parent, this is the parent process. So remember, when it is child is 0, when PID is 0, fork is 0. That is the return of fork is equal to 0. That's when you have your child process. Else, any other thing, any other number is the parent process. So, in this case, when we are saying process, we are talking about program, code you are trying to run. That's what it means. So, you run it, it waits for 5 minutes, and it's going to come out. So that's just how to use wait. That's just all what they want us to know how to use wait. Now let's go and still learn some other things. Sorry, I'm trying to share.
It's important to note that this wait uses a command, uses the library that is in the Ubuntu system. So we need to be using Vagrant, or we need an Ubuntu system. We can't run it on Windows.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, some people are using Windows, like VS Code.